Buongiorno, my little babies. I did it once already. You'll see it in the bloopers. But I figured, fuck it. Why not do it again? Hi, welcome back to another episode of What the Smut, but what the smut? Bunker man, shake the whole fucking table. Shake the whole fucking table. Why don't you, Candace? Hi. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Not Manic What the Smut book reviews. My name is Candace and I'm your host. In today's episode, we're not here to fuck around because this review has been a long time coming. And when I say a long time, I mean 2 months? Probably longer than that. That's about how long it took for me to read this book. 2 months. How long did it take? That's from the time that I started the book, not from the time that I got the book. If we're counting the time that I got the book, 7 months? Yes, I suck. I know, I'm aware. It's a problem that I'm aware of. I would say I'm actively working on it, but I'm not because I've given up. And I've accepted that this is just who I am. So, let's move on, shall we? In today's video, we're going to be reviewing a book that was gifted to me along with literally the entire series because this book is part of a series. How long will it take me to read the series? We're not going to talk about it. Don't fucking ask me. We're not going to talk about it. Okay. So it was gifted to me by my very good friend and sometimes harpy, Ari. And she sent me the series because she's obsessed. She is literally a woman possessed. Okay. She sent it to me and gifted me the entire series. I can't fathom how much money she spent. It had to have been a lot. And then I let them rot on my bookshelf for like 5 months while I read other things that I had backlogged and that I had promised other people I would read before I promised her I would read this book. So I felt terrible. And finally I started it. And I was like, I can't just let her wait anymore. And I started it. And she was so happy. And the messages, if I can screenshot some, I'm gonna put some here. Just some of the messages because they're hilarious. There were a lot of gifts sent, hilarious jumping around gifts of excited people that she found. And she was bouncing off the walls. Okay. As you do, right? As you would be. And then because I'm terrible and because I spend 99.9% of my time either working at my computer or in the car, and I listen to audiobooks during that time, and then I have 0.01% of my life to actually physically read. It took me 2 months to finish this book. I'm sorry. It did. And I know, I'm terrible, I know. But them's the breaks. It is what it is. However, I did finish it. And when I show you this book, which you already saw in the thumbnail, this thing is chunky, okay? And the reason why it's chunky is because technically It's 2 books. Yeah, that bitch got me. It's 2 books. It's a duet built into 1 book. She got me. She got me, yo. Okay. So the whole time that she was nagging me, did you finish Max? Did you finish Max? Have you been reading Max? And I was like, why is it taking me so long to get through this book? I know I suck, but my God. It's because I was reading a book that was nearly 700 pages. Okay? So, without further ado, shaking my table and everything, in today's video, we will be reviewing this book by author Nicci Harris, and it is the duet of Our Thing and Cosa Nostra. As you can see, it's like half the size of my face. And that's saying something because I have a big fucking face. Okay, so, my nose itches, I'm sorry. So, I'm gonna give you guys the deets for the book. And then we're gonna read the blurb, which is surprisingly not very long. And then we're gonna try to break it down. This video is going to be very long. All of my videos are very long. This video is gonna be long because in addition to the page in my reading journal that the notes took up, I required an extra page. So let's get started, shall we? Right now on Amazon, this book and all the books in this series are free to read with KU. Okay. One thing I want to point out about this series, if you look at this cover, is it not stunning to look at? It is stunning, isn't it? All of the books in this series are fucking stunning to look at. The covers are glorious to have on your shelf. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're gorgeous. I don't know how she chooses the images that go on her covers, but whoever's picking for her, if she doesn't pick for her herself, whoever's doing it, like, you got good taste, y'all, because they're fucking beautiful. Okay, so, free to read with KU, okay? If you want to purchase this book for your Kindle, $4.99, and that's for the duet, which is technically 2 books, okay? If you want to buy the paperback, the trade that I'm holding right now, the duet, you can get it for $20.99 right now on Amazon. Brand new, okay? Unfortunately, those are the only 2 formats that this book comes in. There is no audio. Sad. If there had been, I would have breezed through this book in like 2 days. Because once I finished it, I was so into it. Like, when I was 3/4 of the way through, and I was like, nobody talk to me, nobody look at me, nobody breathe in my direction. I need to finish reading this book. I didn't want to be fucked with at all. I wanted to finish the book. When we get to the end, oh God. We're gonna get to it because I can. Okay, I'm gonna put this down now because it's very heavy. No, I can't because I had to do the page thing. Which you know I have to do. Because you know I have to. Oh God. I opened it. I love you. Oh, why? I was looking for the last page number. And I opened it right to the I love yous. If you know, you know. Fuck. Why? God damn it. Nicci, you bitch. Okay. All right, so. Where the hell am I? All right. So, according to Amazon, this book has 688 pages. And that is for the paperback of the duet. They lied. They lied to me big time. Because it says right now, if you click on the paperback version, that there's 688 pages. And yet, I got 608. Typo? 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 Typo. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt this time, Amazon, and I'm gonna say it was a typo. I don't think it was a typo, but I'm gonna assume it was. I'm gonna let you have that one. Let's read the blurb, shall we? Okay. Let's see here. Why are there big splotches on my thing? Oh no, I think they're supposed to be there. Are they supposed to be there? Are they supposed to be there? I don't know. Okay. Okay. Cassidy's, I should segue. The blurb for this one says, I'm gonna read from the back of the book. Cassidy Slater wants two things in life. The first is to be the youngest leading ballerina in her academy. She will need unwavering dedication, no time for men. Unfortunately, her heart didn't get the memo because her second secret want is Max Butcher. Max Butcher's scowl is notorious. He has a dark, intimidating presence, hinting at a life lived hard and fierce. He is a man of few words, but his actions cut straight to the point. To him, Cassidy is a silly little girl, but one he can't keep his hands off. Does that sentence make sense? But one he can't keep his hands off. Should it be, but one he can't keep his hands off of? Am I bugging out? Maybe. His world is going to intoxicate her. The dangerous men he calls family will want to use her, tutu and all. But she is his now. It's an eye for an eye where he comes from, and he's willing to blind the whole damn lot of them. For her, he'll start a damn war. Okay. All right. So, one thing I want to mention. When first picking up this book, the author for this book is, I think, Australian. There are some slight hiccups in the beginning of the writing that kind of made my brain like, that I think are like language barrier type things. Not language barrier, obviously she doesn't speak another language, but like cultural, you know how there's different sayings in different parts of the world, or different phrasings in different parts? It's like that. But when you read it, you'll go, depending on where you are, obviously. If you're in Australia, you won't think two things, you won't give two shits about it, right? But if you live in another part of the country, or another part of the, if you live in another part of the world, then you might go, why'd she say that? Or like, what does that word mean? Or whatever. So that's one thing I want to point out. In the very beginning of the book, that happened to me a few times. I thought to myself, is she foreign? Not thinking to myself, Candace, you stupid bitch. there are people that reside outside of the United States. You idiot. So keep that in mind when you start reading the book. That's number one. Number two, the main female character in the beginning of the book excessively uses the word frick. In the beginning, it got on my nerves. I learned to live with it. I got past it very quickly. You will too. She stops doing it after literally like the second or third chapter in. She just stops entirely. I think she says it once or twice later on in the book too, but you don't even notice it anymore. But she says it quite a few times in the beginning. She's kind of like known throughout her family or throughout their like circle of friends or whatever, as like, she doesn't curse. So she finds alternate words for curse words. So obviously frick would be her alternate for the word fuck. So if you notice that word coming up repeatedly and you go, why is she saying that word so much? It will pass. Ignore it. Okay, that's number two. That aside, those are the only two things about this book that made my brain go, okay? So outside of that, let's start breaking it down. Okay, here we go. Oh, fuck, where to begin? I don't even know where to begin. Tea. Okay. 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 So, the two main characters for this book are Cassidy Slater and Max Butcher. Max is one of Max, Xander, Clay, Bronson. Am I forgetting anyone? One of 4 brothers. Okay. Technically. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Technically one of 5 brothers. Okay. So, yeah. Max is an enforcer. Kind of. An enforcer for, a guy named Jimmy Storm. Jimmy Storm is a Sicilian mob boss. They live in what's called the district. There's a hair in front of me. And don't ask me exactly where that is. I can't remember. It's somewhere in, if I'm not mistaken, Australia. I forget where this book is actually like supposed to be located. Details like that usually leave my brain. Unless it's like integral to the plot, I forget where books take place. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Nicci. But anyway, so Jimmy is basically runs shit in the district, right? Max and his brothers, along with their father, Luca, work for him. Luca used to be a boxer, like a professional boxer. He was known as the Butcher. Obviously, because his last name is Butcher. Him and Jimmy have like business dealings, so they don't like, he doesn't really work for him. He works alongside him, if that makes sense. But his sons work for and alongside Jimmy. Okay. Clay, one of Max's brothers, is getting ready to marry Jimmy's daughter. And I completely forget her name as well. She's inconsequential to the book at hand right now. She's gonna come into play later, but not right now. Right now, the book opens on Cassidy's 18th birthday party. Cassidy's turning 18. Cassidy is a ballerina. She has her own little studio that her father has built for her in like a guest house that's like behind their real house. It's literally like a guest house, complete guest house. The downstairs area is like a full-on like ballet studio that he's built for her. She's spoiled. She spoiled you. So she's planning on being in the upcoming production of The Nutcracker for her ballet academy. She wants to be a prima ballerina, right? So Cassidy, the book opens on her 18th birthday. And she's having a party. She gets into a little bit of the alcohol, which she never does. And she spies Max getting into an argument with a girl at the street, or like at the curb, right? The woman slaps him in the face, like very hard. He doesn't hit her back or anything. But he takes it, and then like she ducks back down. She's like hiding behind bushes to spy on the side of her house. She gets caught. She's very drunk, very, very drunk. And he finds her after the woman drives off. He finds her hiding behind the bushes. And in her drunken state, she tells him how cute he is and how she's always had a crush on him and a whole bunch of other embarrassing stuff. And he's humoring her, and he's taking it all in like good fun. And then she passes out. And he carries her as he's carrying her somewhere. And she passes out. She wakes up the next morning. There's a glass of water. She's in bed. There's a glass of water on her bedside table and a couple of like pills, like Advil or aspirin or whatever the Australian equivalent of aspirin is. And she's hungover. And there's pictures and video of Max carrying her into her room, circling on social media. And everyone's now assuming that something happened between the two of them. And so it's like the talk of the town that, oh my God, Cassidy Slater and Max Butcher. Oh my God, right? Okay. Cassidy has an older sister named Flick. I don't think that's her actual name. I think that's just her nickname, what people call her, Flick. Flick has, I don't know if she's 100% leans towards the chick side, or if she's bisexual. I'm not sure. But she's involved with a girl named Stacy who lives in the Butcher household. I'm still, as of right now, unclear as to what position Stacy holds in the Butcher household. That didn't get revealed entirely in this book. So the two of them are close. And so generally the boys, the Butcher boys, will hang out a lot with the two girls. And so sometimes they'll come over. So they're shortly after the scene where her 18th birthday party happens. The Butcher Boys come over for a swim in the Slaters' pool, along with Flick and Stacy. Keeping in mind that Cassidy has revealed to Max that she thinks he's very cute and very hot. And she said all of this under her drunken stupor. So she's dancing in her studio, and the guys come over and they're swimming, and Flick is like, come out, swim with us. And she's like, I don't know if I want to, but also Max is out there and I kind of want to. So she does. She goes and she puts on a one-piece swimsuit, and she comes out and she gets in the pool. And of course, Max corners her in one end of the pool and starts asking her like flirtatious little questions like, hey, do you remember what happened last night? Do you remember what you said? Do you remember that you thought I was cute? And she's very embarrassed. She's hiding her face and she's, you know, whatever. And he's using that as an excuse to keep her afloat. I need to hold on to you to make sure you don't drown in the deep end of the pool, since you can't keep yourself afloat because you're covering your face. So I'm just gonna grab you. You should put your legs around me to make sure that you stay afloat. So, right? So they have a little moment in the pool that basically ends with him going, this isn't a good idea. And her doing the whole, why not? And him doing the whole evasive, because I said so type situation, but also at the same time feeling her up. So clearly you think it's a good idea. So Bronson, one of his brothers, says, yo, listen, we got to go. Boss called. We got shit we got to do. So they leave. She gets roped into going on a double date by her best friend, Tony, who is gay. He's going on a date with a cop who has another cop friend who wants to go out with her. Tony's basically already promised the other cop that he has a date for him. So Cassidy's like, oh, why did you get me into this? But she goes. And they go to this like, it's like a fair type carnival thing. And the cop, first things first, Tony and his date kind of go off on their own, in their own direction, and leave Cassidy and her date alone. They're talking and they're chatting, and they sit down on like this embankment area, and there's music playing, and she's telling him like that she dances ballet and blah blah, and he's like, oh yeah, well, you should show me some, you know, I'd love to see you dance sometime, whatever. And so she stands up and she starts showing him some of her dance moves. She's wearing a dress, so it exposes like some of her, like it exposes her underwear, which is in her mind thinking it's no different than her wearing a leotard or a bathing suit or whatever. It's no big deal to her. However, obviously the cop is getting kind of worked up by it, right? He like low-key drags her off to an abandoned area of the fairgrounds or the carnival grounds or whatever, and gets her alone, where he starts to like, they start to make out. She's into it. She's not fighting him off, but out of nowhere, comes Max, drags the guy off of her, basically throws him across the ground. He's fuming. And he like yells at her and threatens to like beat the shit out of the cop. This is a cop that he's threatening, by the way. Like, reminder, cop. The guy has, thankfully, enough like common sense to go, oh, this is Max fucking Butcher. I'm alone back here. I should probably fucking skedaddle. And so he ends up laying into Cassidy. She gets defensive. And he basically manhandles her into his car and takes her home. By the time they get back to her place, he sneaks into her bedroom and then sleeps next to her in bed. They don't do anything, but he literally strips down to like his underwear and sleeps in bed with her just to sleep next to her. And in that moment, I was like, oh God, what is something gonna happen? Tell me something's gonna happen. And he was just like, go to sleep. And I was like, no, don't go to sleep. So while this is happening, there's another side storyline playing out where Max has been informed that Cassidy will be dancing a piece that she's choreographing herself at Jimmy's daughter's and Clay's wedding, which is like a destination wedding. It's happening, I forget, in like Bali or something like that. It's far out. They're having to travel for this. The daughter, Jimmy's daughter, has seen her dance before and specifically wants her to dance at like the reception or like one of the nights of, because it's like a whole fucking affair at this wedding. So wants her to dance at one of the parties or reception party, whatever. And Cassidy agreed to do it. And so she'll be flying along with her sister Flick, Stacy, the rest of the Butchers, to this destination wedding and staying in like bungalows and literally like enjoying tropical climates and what have you for like 2 weeks while this wedding takes place. And she'll be unsupervised with Max. Keeping in mind, there's not supposed to be anything going on between the two of them. However, before they leave to go to this wedding, destination wedding, where the hell does it take place? I forget. Yeah, I think it says in Bali. Okay, in Bali. So Max shows up one day at her studio. She's been dancing. She's tired. Her limbs are tired. She's exhausted. She's been dancing in her studio all day. Max shows up and they've already had at least one little tryst in her bedroom where I nearly died. I'm not worried about her. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about me. I nearly died as I'm reading it. And she's sitting on top of a dresser getting off. He's getting her off. And I'm reading it. And then her fucking mom knocks on the door talking about, are you okay? Are you having nightmares? No, Mom, get the fuck out of here. Leave me alone. I'm a grown ass woman. Don't worry about my nightmares. Get out of here. I'm 18. I was so angry. I was like, oh God, leave her alone. Leave her alone so they can continue. But no, of course that didn't happen. It broke them up and he snuck out the window or some shit. I can't remember now, but yeah. So they've already had one tryst like that. He shows up at her ballet studio and he's in a state. He literally walks in and just like accosts her and takes her virginity on top of the fucking, what the hell are those things called? The bars where you stretch, the stretching bars that ballerinas use. You know what the fuck I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. He literally plants her ass on the bar and then takes her virginity on the bar. Half on the bar, half just standing up. And that shit was so fucking hot. Because he just couldn't wait. He couldn't take it anymore. He was like, I have to have you right now. And I was just like, yeah, boy, you do. Do it. So, that's before they leave for Bali. Keeping in mind, he told her up front, I don't do girlfriends. Max is very contrary like that. Max starts out thinking, I don't want anything serious. I don't do serious. I don't do girlfriends. And he's telling her this. I don't do girlfriends. I don't do serious relationships. If anything happens between us, it's literally just going to be sex. I'm not going to have any feelings for you. Boy, please. Okay? Boy, please. You're already acting like a fucking Neanderthal. Okay? I'm not going to exhibit any feelings for you. Get the fuck out of here with that. You're a caveman. You're throwing cops off of her. You're a caveman. No feelings involved, as if. So, they go to Bali. The girls are staying in one, like, cabana thing. The boys are staying in another. They have their own rooms in the cabana thing. So he's constantly sneaking into her room for them to have sex. And vice versa. All while maintaining the, oh, don't do serious girlfriend shit. Okay, right. Okay, we got you. She shows any amount of skin in a two-piece and whatever, and he's like, no, go change your clothes. Go change your clothes. Don't talk to any men at the pool. Don't do this, don't do that. Okay, don't let guys buy you drinks. Don't do that. Meanwhile, he can just do whatever the fuck he wants, right? Boy, no. And then one night they have sex without a condom. And he gets her a Plan B pill from somewhere. And she takes it. But all the while, their feelings towards each other and the way they act towards each other is getting more serious. And she seems to be kind of like a balm to his wounded soul. He has a lot of anger management problems. He is very rough around the edges. He's very raw. He's very abrasive. And she seems to calm him down, where not many people can do that. And while they're on this trip, she finally meets not only his father, but his mother as well. His mother, Victoria, she is a piece of work. She is a grade A bitch, like in the biggest sense of the word. And it's revealed during this Bali trip that when Luca would go out on trips to fight or wherever and leave the kids behind with her, she would physically abuse them. Max would take the brunt of it. And so he's grown up being physically abused by his mom. His mom was the woman that Cassidy saw him with the night of her birthday party that slapped him in front of her house. Safe to say, his mom does not like Cassidy at all. And she makes it very well known at like one of the formal dinners that they have pre-wedding, okay? While they're there at the wedding trip, Cassidy gets attacked by a guy. And first she gets led down a hallway by this guy, Dustin. Okay, there's a whole backstory here. Cassidy's brother, Connor. Cassidy has an older brother, Connor. He's adopted. Her father was involved with Connor's biological mother. Even though Cassidy's father is not Connor's biological dad, her father adopted him when his biological mom passed away. So Connor is very fucked up mentally and emotionally. When Connor was a kid, he was kidnapped. At the time, his mother, his biological mom, she searched for him everywhere. She was married to a guy named Dustin. That was his stepdad. Dustin is not a good guy. Dustin works for Jimmy. His mom created like a foundation, a charity foundation, when he was missing, to help like find him, to help other people in the same situation. Eventually, Connor was found, and he was adopted by Cassidy's dad, or Cassidy's parents, and raised as one of their own. So, however, Dustin has always been very shady. He's a very shady character. And there was talk in the beginning of the book. There was an altercation between Connor and his adoptive father, Cassidy's dad, that there was talk that there was a possibility of Dustin having been involved in Connor's kidnapping, as in having hired the man who kidnapped him. Right? So it's definitely, he's not a good dude. Okay. So Cassidy runs into him at the wedding. And I forget if she's like looking for the bathroom or what she's doing, but he points her down a hallway She ends up outside behind a building where she runs into another guy who then attacks her. Xander, Max's younger brother, Max's younger brother and the youngest of the Butcher clan, sees the attack happen and he like freezes up. And before he can unfreeze himself, other people have gotten involved and they get the guy off of her, obviously, before he can rape her, which is what his intention was. So the guy gets killed, obviously. But Max harbors resentment towards Xander for letting it happen in the first place. And that puts a big rift in their relationship for a good chunk of the book. Xander spirals out. He's very emotionally distraught about it for a good chunk of the book as well. And eventually has a massive breakdown, which I felt horrible about. When it happened, I was like, I felt terrible for him because I just felt so bad. Because he's literally like a baby. He's like a little baby. And I just wanted to hug him. But because of this attack, Cassidy has developed almost like PTSD. She doesn't want to be touched by anyone, including Max. So she gets anytime Max comes near her to show sexual affection, she starts to freak out and or shut down. And so for a hot minute, she can't be touched by him. And every time that happens, and she's comparing him to the guy, he flies into a rage, which doesn't make anything better between him and Xander. So it's a very tumultuous portion of the book, to say the least. So they get back home to the district. Shortly afterwards, she finds out that she's pregnant. She finds out while she's in the car. She gets a call from her doctor. Her driver / bodyguard, Carter, overhears the phone call. She knows he's going to report it to Max. He works for Max. But she's praying that, he won't tell him before she gets a chance to tell him. But she knows that she can't keep it a secret. She gets the news. And her aspirations to be the prima ballerina, at least for now, are put on hold. But she's happy. She's very happy. She wants the baby. However, by this time, her and Max are very public in their affection. They're obviously not married or anything, but he's made it clear that Cassidy is his. That she's my girlfriend. He doesn't want anyone else. Because she's basically told him that she will not tolerate him sleeping with anyone else and sleeping with her. She tried to do the whole sex only thing, and no, it's not in me. I can't do that. And his views on in the beginning of the book, he likens having a girlfriend and being in a relationship to being worse than having polio. And now his views on being in a relationship and having a girlfriend have significantly changed when he envisions that girlfriend to be Cassidy. So he wants her enough that as long as the person in question is her, he'll happily enter into a monogamous relationship. So they're together. Her family doesn't really like it. Her brother absolutely hates it because he thinks that all of the butchers are trash, and he thinks they're shady, and he doesn't like the fact that they work for Jimmy Storm. And it takes her a long time to come to the realization and to wrap her mind around the fact that her boyfriend and his family are in the mafia, that they do bad things. She is continuously making excuses for him and seeing the good side of him and trying to reiterate to him that deep down he is a good person and that he doesn't hurt good people. He hurts bad people. He hurts, like he doesn't go out and shoot old ladies. What he does do is what's necessary for his job. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So when she first tells Max, he's happy, but he's also reserved. He has moments where he's very happy that she's pregnant. But then when she starts to exhibit the type of unconditional love that a mother shows their unborn child, he gets almost jealous, where he starts to think that there's not going to be enough love to go around, and that this child is going to take Cassidy away from him in some way. And she has to explain to him that that's not how it works. So there's a part in the book where it's almost heartbreaking to see where you can tell he did not get any love from his mother. And where she has to explain to him that, no, it's a different kind of love, what I give to you versus what I'll give to our child. And after that, he's 100% on board. He's very happy. He's overprotective, very overprotective. He becomes like a monster when it comes to her safety, her health. He gets this idea into his head that she wants this fairy tale 9-to-5, that he needs to have like a 9-to-5 job and white picket fence, and that she wants him to lead that type of life. And so he needs to distance himself from what he's been doing for Jimmy, which is basically breaking people's faces. So he calls a meeting, or he goes to meet with Jimmy and his brother Clay. Clay is Clay is the oldest, and Clay is more of the straight-laced politician type brother. So he's the one that's being groomed to go into like councilman, alderman, governor, mayor type position. Like he's being groomed by Jimmy to do that, so that they can then use that position to get shit done for the family. You know what I'm saying? So he goes to them and he says, listen, I want to get out of doing this, and I want to go work for Clay. I want a regular 9-to-5, and I need to do this for Cassidy and my family. And Jimmy is like, okay. You know, at first, Jimmy is, to outward appearances, very smooth, very debonair, very acquiescent, he seems to be a very go with the flow, very nice guy. But immediately, the vibe that you get is that he's a fucking snake. Literally. Like, I got snake. And by the end of the book, that is confirmed. So after he has this meeting and he tells them he wants to go work for Clay, it comes up with Cassidy that he's done this. And they actually get into a fight about it because she's like, why would you do that? And he's like, I'm trying to give you a normal life. I'm trying to give you what you want. And she's like, what are you talking about? What I want? And, you know, he's like, the fairy tale. I'm trying to give you the fairy tale. And she's like, I didn't ask you for the fairy tale. I know exactly who you are. Like, I've never asked you to change. I've never said anything about wanting you to be anyone other than Max Butcher, which is true. She's never asked him to quit doing what he's doing for Jimmy. She's never asked him to change anything. She's always literally just gone, no, rub his head. You're doing a good job. You know what I mean? So one night, she tells him that there's going to be a benefit, a charity thing for Connor, for the charity that his mother started, the foundation that his mother started when he disappeared. And it's there to honor her and her whatever, her memory or whatever. And all of her family is going. All of her family is going. And he's like, okay, cool. I'll go. I'll go with you. And she's like, you're gonna go? You're gonna go? Max and her brother hate each other. They're constantly fighting. Connor hates that she's with Max. And Max is constantly needling him. But he goes with her to the function. While he's there, he runs into his father, Luca, who's at a different table of the same charity function with not his mom, but someone else, another woman that clearly Luca is having an affair with. Go figure. Which is no big surprise to Max because Max knows that his father fucks around on his mom and vice versa. So, he's like, hey, what are you doing here? And his dad tells him that, you know, he knew Connor's mom, that they were involved. And Max was like, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So Luca's like, well, you guys sit here and have a seat with us. And they're getting ready to start, you know, the keynote speaker is getting up to start talking. So the guy gets up and is talking and is saying some stuff about Connor's mom and about when he was kidnapped and blah, 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 blah. And then he makes the announcement that Connor, the boy in question who was kidnapped, is actually here with us today. And points the spotlight to the other table where Connor and his girlfriend, Blesk, are sitting. And Luca, who's holding a glass of like liquor at the time, the glass like explodes in his hand. And immediately I was like, something going on. And I knew exactly what was happening. I'm not going to tell you yet, but I knew exactly what it was. I was like, motherfucker. Of course it is. Of course it is. So, he excuses himself to clean himself up. And the bank, they leave. Like, he like goes, you know, he's standing and waves and whatever. And Connor, I'm talking about Connor. He like stands up and gives like an awkward wave. The function ends. Cassidy and Max get in the car with Carter, who's driving, to go home. While they're on the way home, they get pulled over by the cops. The cops come up to the car and tell Max to get out. Cassie's like, what the fuck is going on? Max is like, don't worry about it. Stay inside the car. Everything will be fine. Max gets out. They arrest him for murder. They arrest him for murder. They take him away on the spot. She's freaking the fuck out. Carter ends up driving her back home, where she sits for several days while the rest of the family come and go from the house. Nobody knows what the fuck is happening until finally Jimmy shows up at the house and they're having a family meeting. What's going on? Well, so he's going to be out on bail. He's going to get out on bail in the next few days. Oh, okay, thank God. So she's a nervous wreck. She's sitting in her bedroom eating Cheetos. Keeping in mind she's pregnant, right? She's sitting in her bedroom eating chips in leggings, just looking, hair a mess, undone, looking a hot mess. And Carter comes and is like, ma'am, you haven't left the house in several days. Let's go for a drive. And she's like, okay. And she, you know, she like changes her pants or whatever, and she gets in the car and they go for a drive. And he drives them somewhere that's halfway between where Max's family's home is and where her family's home is. And it's a new subdivision. And he drives them to an empty lot. There's nothing there. It's empty. There's like a big hill. That's it. And she's like, why are we here? What's happening? And she looks around and he's like, Carter like smiles at her. And she immediately knows he's here, isn't he? And she jumps out of the car and like runs up the hill. And sure enough, Max is standing up there waiting for her. And she just pounces on him. And they're so happy to see each other. And she's like, what are we doing here? And he gives her like a VR headset. She puts it on. And when she puts it on, it shows blueprints or whatever. Like it shows a fully done house sitting in the empty lot. What will be a house, completely done. Beautiful, like multi-storied home, right? And he's like, I've bought this. We're gonna build our house here. And you know, she's crying and she's falling apart. She's very emotional. She's pregnant. She's very emotional. And the way he's talking, she gets a bad vibe. She takes the headset off. And she's like, why are you talking to me as if you're going away? And he's like, the murder rap didn't stick, but they got me for assaulting a cop. I have to go away for 36 months. 3 years. 2 years. If I'll be out in 2 years for good behavior. If I'm out for good behavior. She immediately breaks down, starts crying. And he's like, that's about how long it will take to finish our house. So essentially it's a project to keep her busy. When I get out, we'll move it, we'll live here. And this will be our family's house. And he says, before I go in, I want you to be my wife. And he gets down on his knees and he proposes to her. And obviously she says yes, and it's very emotional. And I was very emotional. And this is they go back to the house, the family house, and he has a few days before he has to turn himself in. So they spend the next few days, they get married in a private ceremony, just between the two of them and the priest. Then they have a wedding reception at the house. At the reception, they have a family meeting, and Luca forces Ben Slater, Cassidy's dad, to come clean to Connor about the identity of his biological father. Because Connor knows who his biological mother is and who his stepfather was, but he does not know who his biological father was. Ben Slater does. And it turns out to be none other than Luca Butcher. So this revelation is delivered to the room of all the Butcher brothers and Cassidy and Connor. That, surprise, Connor, you're a butcher, and you and Max are brothers. So that goes over like a lead balloon. And then after that meeting is over, before Max leaves, Luca basically pulls him aside and says, there's a man inside the prison that I want you to get close to. His name is Donovan something. And he's the one who was paid to kidnap Connor as a baby. I want to know. He opted to go to prison for the last however many years, 25 years, versus ratting out the person who hired him. I want to know who he was so scared of. Find him, make him talk, and then kill him. And they spend the few days together, obviously. And then he spends the day before he has to go in. He spends some time with his brothers and his dad. And then the night before, he spends it with her. And she says, I'm going to stay up all night. I'm not going to fall asleep. Will you stay up all night with me? And he says, yes, I'll stay up all night. She falls asleep. And then when she wakes up, he's not there. And she freaks out. She wakes up to something wet touching her face. And it's a dog's nose. And there's a little German Shepherd puppy. And she's like, where'd you come from, girl? What are you doing here? And then she remembers, Max is going in today. Where's Max? So she freaks out. And she starts running through the house, yelling like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He wouldn't have left without saying goodbye to me. Where is he? She catches him right as he's getting into the car. And she asks him, were you ever going to tell me you loved me? And he says, if I didn't, would you still know? And she says yes. And he says, good. And he gets in the car and she goes back inside with the dog and she goes up to their room and she finds a letter on the bedside table. And when she opens it, it's got a pen next to it that still like has the cap off, a red pen. And she opens the letter and it has "I love you" written over and over and over for every day that he's gonna be inside. And she uses the pen and she crosses out the first "I love you." And then I have to pull out the book. And then at the end of the letter it says, "One for every day I can't show you with my actions. I swear I'll never say it again, little one." And then he just signs it M. I was reading that at 3 o'clock in the morning on my couch in the living room in the dark. And I was crying hysterically. Like right now, I was crying. And I texted Ari, who bought me this book. And I said, I hate you. I hate you so much. So, okay. So, while Max is in prison, Cassidy gives birth to a beautiful baby girl. This is a surprise to everyone in the Butcher clan because allegedly there has not been any girls born in the Butcher family for a hot minute. It's been all boys. So they expected a boy. They got a girl. Her name is Kelly. She takes a particular shine to Bronson, who is the Butcher's resident psychotic brother. But he loves that little girl, and you can tell that he just adores her. She is one of the few things that like keeps him sane, right? Otherwise he's kind of a little bit of a nutcase. Who doesn't love a good nutcase? P.S. His book is next. Max makes her promise not to visit him or bring Kelly to prison. He doesn't want her or the baby to see him in jail. She makes him, she doesn't want to do it, but she makes him that promise. So she does not see him for, I think it's like 803 days is the number. She gets up one morning and she's looking for the letter. She wants to cross off another "I love you." She can't find the letter. She's freaking out. Where's the letter? The only thing she can think is Kelly must have gotten a hold of it. Oh my God, if she tears up the letter, she'll be heartbroken. So she goes looking for the letter. Kelly is in Bronson's room. She knows this because she's already found her in Bronson's room. They're playing in a fort that Bronson has built for them, of like blanket fort and pillows and stuff. So she goes running down towards the staircase And she hears Kelly say something about daddy, and she stops and she freezes, and she's like, no, there's no way. Every night before she goes to bed, she shows Kelly a picture of Max, and she says goodnight to her dad, to the picture. So she knows what Max looks like. So she turns around slowly. Out of her periph, she sees Max at the bottom of the staircase. And he's standing there looking at his 3-year-old daughter. 2-year-old? 3-year-old. Almost 3-year-old. And it's a very emotional moment where he hugs her and he starts crying. And then he sees her and she gets very emotional and she can't face it. So she turns around and she bolts to the bedroom, and she like runs into the bathroom, and he follows her obviously and corners her, and they have a very emotional moment. And she tells him that they haven't moved into the house. The house is finished, but her and Kelly have not moved in yet because she did not want to live there without him. And it was lonely. She didn't want to be there by herself just with her and Kelly. So she's been staying in the family home with the rest of his brothers and his dad. I don't think his dad lives there. I can't remember. Anyway, so Max, her main concern, the one thing that she was afraid of, aside obviously from him getting shanked or something, her main fear when he went, of him going to prison, was that what little softness that was left inside him would be snuffed out, and that he would come out of prison basically an emotionless drone, that he would be hardened and there would be no softness left in him. He disproves that immediately by crying when he meets Kelly, and then crying again in the shower with Cassidy when he is reunited with Cassidy. And obviously, of course, that makes her cry too, obviously. So after that very emotional reunion, they have a family meeting to discuss what he learned in prison. He found the kidnapper, Donovan Knight, and he got him to talk. According to Donovan, he was hired by Dustin, Connor's stepfather, to kidnap Connor and kill him. However, he was then hired and paid by another man not to kill him, but to keep him for use later in the event that he could be useful to him. So he was supposed to be killed. Connor was supposed to be killed. But this guy was paid to keep him alive, but imprisoned in some dank cellar somewhere, in the event that this unnamed person could use Connor against someone else. Okay. I think we've all guessed by now, the unnamed person who paid to keep Connor alive was Jimmy. Jimmy Storm. This revelation comes, and Luca, who is Connor's biological father, is enraged. He had a feeling, I think, but now it's confirmed. And he wants Jimmy's head on a spit. Max volunteers to do it. I'll kill Jimmy. No. Luca's like, no, you just got out of prison. You have a beautiful family here. You don't even know. You got to keep your hands clean. Bronson steps up. I'll do it. I'll get close to Jimmy and I'll take him out. And that's where the book ends. Because Bronson's book is next. And he's getting ready to go full on psycho. Ooh, full on psycho. Listen, I got a thing for psychotics, okay? I got a thing for psychotics, stalkers. He's like all of that wrapped up in a nice little package for me. Nicci put out like a snippet, you know, when they do like those graphics that have like the quotes or like a little snippet from the book, and it'll have like a picture, like a hot little picture on the background. Okay, Nicci put out one when she was like advertising for Bronson's book. She put out one that had a scene where he literally, he's with the heroine of the book. I forget her name. It's a very funky sounding name, and I'm not even sure I'm going to want to read it. Hopefully he calls her by some nickname or something through most of the book. Because if I have to pronounce her name, I think it's like Shoshana or something like that. If I have to pronounce her name like that through the entire book, my head might explode. But it's a scene with her. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she's engaged to someone else, or she might be married to someone else. I'm not sure, but it's the love of his life. He's been obsessed with this chick for the longest. And he puts her ring finger in his mouth, pulls the ring off, and swallows it. When I read that, immediately I was like, you're my dude. It doesn't matter. I don't care what's going on with any of these other guys, any of these other butchers. You're mine. I already know. I can already tell. Because you're the crazy one. You fucking swallowed her engagement ring. Right off of her goddamn finger. You're the crazy one. You're gonna be my favorite. I already know. Okay, so I finished this book at 3 a.m. 3 a.m., 3:30 in the morning. Immediately started Bronson's book, even though I knew I should take my ass to sleep. Immediately started Bronson's book, which is what I'm reading right now. So, will it take me 5 years to finish? Probably. But you know what? Fuck it. So, that, kiddos, wraps up our story that has been 12 years in the making from start to finish. I thank you guys so much for sticking with me for another review that's literally spanned the course of, my nose itching, that spanned the course of 14 hours. If you enjoyed this video, if you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. I upload videos every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Finger bang. If you'd like, you can follow me on social media. I do have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram that I'm super active on, and a Twitter that I forget exists. I will link them all down in the description box below, and I'll put a little banner here on the screen for you guys to see. And I think that's about it. Nope, that's a lie. For the rating for the book, for this book, I gave it a solid 9.25. And the only reason that I did that was because I feel like Bronson is going to end up getting like a 9.5, and I still have to leave that little bit of wiggle room for something even crazier. So Max got a 9.25. So yes. Would I recommend this book and this series to other people? Yes, I would, and I have. I featured Nicci Harris as one of my KU author spotlights on Instagram, which I do every Sunday. I upload a graphic with a new author that is in Kindle Unlimited, and I feature that author as well as several books that I recommend or that someone close to me has nominated and recommends that they love. And I upload that every Sunday. Nicci has been featured as one of those authors. So yes, I would recommend this book and this series to other people. I think I like her writing style. I really enjoyed this book, especially the bit at the end with the letter and all of that. I don't cry in books. I deliberately avoid books that I have heard will make people cry. I don't read them. I avoid them like the plague. When books, there's only been, count them now, 3. This is number 3. That has inadvertently made me cry since I started my Bookstagram account, since I started my YouTube channel 2 years ago. So, I don't cry reading books, and this book fucked me up. So, yes, I would recommend this series to people, and I have. Read it. Just go read the book. Okay. Don't ask me any more questions. Just go read the book. So yeah, I think that's about it. I really appreciate you guys joining me for another video. Yeah, I think that's it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. I love you. Bye. Buongiorno, my little babies. I don't know what that was. Okay. Somebody's already fucking, literally just pressed play. Keep in mind, no one's called me or texted me all fucking day. Just press play. Immediate text message. Immediate text message. Why? Why? Like, no. Can you fuck off, please? Okay. So, fat arms. Wings. Okay. So, here we go. Okay. So, I said, I'm pretty sure that was close to Italian, right? Close-ish to Italian. Oh my God, my phone's still going up. Right? In honor of the book that we're here to review today. If you hear any scurrying or crunching noises, it's Freckles, the rabbit, the bane of my existence, over there eating food. Because of course he decides he needs to eat food right when I sit down to record. Of course he does. So ignore all of that and any other noises that you hear, including the incessant buzzing coming, including the incessant buzzing coming from my phone. That's So, let's turn on sweet Candace because we can't let the world know that you're really a bitch. Okay. All right. Let's do this shit. Get your posture right. Get your posture right, Candace, because your posture is shit. Okay. Here we go. Oh no. No, that's, no. Italian. I don't know how to count in Italian. I don't even know how to do 1, 2, 3 in Italian. Fuck it. Anyway, let's do our intro, shall we? Yeah, let's do our intro, okay. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing. Oh, he's gonna drink water now. Well, fine. If he's gonna drink, then I'm gonna drink. Tea! Okay. My head hurts. Of course it does. It always hurts. There's so much lipstick on my straw. Okay. I don't want to cut because then I'll have more files to transfer. But he could literally go on for 15 minutes like this. You guys, let's take a minute to talk about my hair. This is day 2. This is my alternate wash day. Not wash day. Non-wash day? Non-wash day. This is the day I haven't washed. Does that make sense? You know what I mean. I think you know it. If you're a girl, you know what I mean. Look at my hair. Doesn't it look soft? And can hair look yummy and delicious? I don't think it can, but I think, again, you know what I mean. I owe this to the Revlon hair drying brush. It's like a brush that you plug in and it dries your hair. It's like a hair dryer, but in a brush. If you're interested, I'm gonna link it down below. No, I'm not sponsored by them, as if. Yes, because I would get so much coin from the 4 people who watch my videos. But it has literally changed my life. That fucking brush. It's like he's going twice as hard because he's like, oh, you're trying to talk? Let me just... The brush has literally changed my life. My hair. So before, I was blow drying and then straightening. And my hair felt like pine straw all the time. I hated it. I literally would just constantly be like, oh God, what the fuck? Oh God. You know, you watch. You see me go, oh, what the fuck is this? And what is this? And you see me do that 24/7, right? Okay. How much time in the bloopers is spent with me fucking with my hair? Go ahead and answer. I'll wait. Okay. Don't look at my cleavage. Okay. Thank you. So, this brush was recommended to me by Yvette at the Saucy Bookshelf on Instagram. $35 on Amazon. I bought it. They've sold over like 100,000 of these motherfucking brushes. And it's got 4.5 stars. I was like, all these people can't be wrong. So I bought it. And it's literally changed my life. It's changed my life. And my hair's life. Because my hair feels so soft and luxurious. And this is the second day. I washed my hair and dried it with the thing yesterday. You should have seen it yesterday. I looked like I went to the salon for a blowout. I know that sounds filthy, but again, if you're a chick, you know what I mean. So, yeah, you know. So I cannot recommend enough. I'm gonna put the link down below. Go buy one. Anyway, moving on, because this motherfucker's finished, so we can move on. I feel like I can't breathe. I've legit given myself an asthma attack. This shit. Cassidy has an older sister. Her name is, I don't think her actual, okay. Fucking 99 notifications, Jesus Christ. All right. Y'all bitches are lit. Okay. God, I wish she would make a fucking full-length version of that song and put it on Spotify. It's been in my brain for weeks and I can't get it out. For weeks. Weeks, I tell you, weeks. Weeks. What the hell? How did I go down in notifications? What the fuck? Anyway. All right, I'm done. I'm done, those kiddos. I'm Audi 5000. Thank God. That's over. What a weight off my shoulders, because I have been, that's been such a long time coming. It's ridiculous. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go. I want to eat dinner. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you on the flip side. Okay? I love you. Go buy the hair thing. I'm gonna link it down below. Don't let me forget. I'm talking to you like you're a real person. Don't let me forget to put the link down below. Candace, don't forget. Candace, as you're editing this, don't fucking forget to put the link for the hairdryer thing. This rabbit, I swear to God. Okay, I love you.